healing. I'm healing from all my past traumas. Everything that was done to me, it was a part of the plan. Even though at the time I didn't know what it meant, it didn't feel good. I said, Lord, why me? Why do we have to go through so much? Because we were created in God's image. He had a master plan for our life in the first place. So now we gotta give him thanks. We gotta give him praise. And no matter what we've been through, we had to grow through it. We went through it for his plan and for his purpose. We are wonderfully and fearfully made in his image. We gotta remember that. So no matter what the world has tried to do to you, they tried to take your peace, they tried to take your joy, but you know who's still in control? You are. So walk in your healing. Believe you are healed. Know that you are whole. Despite what they did to you, no one can take control of your mind. They can't take control of your peace. Don't give them that. They can't never have that, because you are beautiful. You are amazing. You are successful. Keep going, and know that the world is waiting on you to stand up, because you are perfect in every way. We all made mistakes, but that does not define you. It's only a part of who you were. But now you stand up, you rise up, kings and queens, and believe in your name again. Know that you are whole. Know that you are healed. Know that you got control of your life. No more. Hello, welcome. I just want to say welcome, guys, to our show, Live from the Inside Out, with your host, T. Nicole. Demel will be joining us by phone very shortly. I wanted to go live because I never get a chance to really talk to you guys. And so I want to tell you something. The choices that we make in our past, sometimes they have a negative or a positive impact on our present. I'm going to say that again. The choices that we make in our past, they either have a negative or a positive impact on our life today. Hey, Dion, welcome. So Demel will be joining us very shortly, but I wanted to come on here because I'm in this new space in my life. And so many times I used to blame my mom. I used to blame my friends, my family for the decisions that I made. But ultimately, I had the right and the ability to make the choice for myself. So instead of like always blaming everybody else, I learned to take accountability. See, my actions, they caused me to be overweight. They caused me to have low self-esteem, insecurities, doubt, fear, anxiety, and all these different things that have found their way into my life because of the decisions that I made. So I'm 41 years old. I'll be 42 in a couple days. And so the thing is, I used to always look at everybody else's life, but never took accountability for what I did, or never really looked at my life because I was too busy blaming everybody else, and realized that I made the choice. I made the choice to be miserable. I made the choice to be happy. I made the choice to be free. I made the choice to do whatever it is that I wanted to do. But I had to realize that, hey, hello, welcome. I think I'm saying your name right, so forgive me if I don't say it right. Clara, I think that's how you pronounce your name, but welcome. Thank you for joining us on today. And so the thing is, I made decisions that lended me to where I am today. And so for many years, it's like I wanted to reintroduce myself. Sometimes I reintroduce myself. Sometimes I don't show up in the spaces that I want to because I didn't know how to. But now that I'm away from my comfortable, like my mom and my safety net, it's like now I'm showing up as Therese, T. Nicole. Hi, Lisa. Welcome. I'm showing up as myself, the life coach, the speaker, the author, but I'm showing up as myself. So many of you guys know me as T. Nicole. My name is Therese Teasley, but I go by T. Nicole because Nicole is my middle name and T is part of my last name. And so I wanted to tell you guys that because, like, I didn't always make the right decisions in my life. There were many hangups for me. Like when I was a kid, I was molested. For those that do not know my whole story, some you know my story, but some of you don't know my story. And so for many years, I blamed everybody else for what happened to me, or I blamed everybody because I wasn't where I wanted to be, or I wasn't free, because I really wanted to be free.
And so I put on all of this weight. And so for many years, I carried a lot of weight. I was at my highest of 260 pounds. Actually, I was 262 pounds. And then I recently lost weight. And so I'm losing weight now, and I'm happy. Even though I done had some happy moments in my life, also had moments in my life where I wasn't happy. I wasn't pleased with myself. So I blamed everybody else, not realizing the choices that I made when I messed with people I didn't have no business messing with, or I did things that I wasn't supposed to do because I felt like, I didn't care about me. So now I'm in this new space in my life where I care about me. I care about the decisions that I make. So I realized that ultimately, every decision that I made, every choice that I made, it was something that I did. Nobody could force me to do it, even though I didn't always have the best cards dealt to me. Because I remember when I was a kid, when the things that I was experiencing, I used to be like, why me? Why is all of the bad stuff happening to me? And it was like, because you were the chosen one to break the generational curses. You had to learn self and study self. Yes. Thank you, Laura. Thank you. Thank you. So listen, I had to learn myself. I really did. So now I'm in this place. I'm in a whole new state. My birthday is coming up. I never been away from my family. I was just sitting here thinking about me not being away from my family. Like for the first time, this is the first time I've ever been away from my family. And I'm like, I could get discouraged. I could give up. I could throw in the towel. I had a friend call me, like she loved me and I love her too. She was like, you should move closer. I'm like, I never once told you I wanted to come back home. I said, I don't know where you get this information from, but she was caring. She was concerned about me because she like, Therese, you out here by yourself. You ain't got no family. You need to come back. I'm like, but I got my cousin here with me. I got a friend here with me. So I'm actually okay. I'm safe. I'm not coming back to Michigan just yet because I have work to do. And that's what I'm doing. So I just wanted to let y'all know that in this new season of my life, like the choices I made, the decisions that I made, they wasn't always the best ones, but at that moment, they were good. But see, I didn't know the effects of my choices. I didn't know the effects of my decisions. So when DeMille come on, I want you guys to hear like some of the choices that he made and how he ended up where he is today. Hey, Deidre, I love you. It's so good to see you. I'm so glad my people here today. Just thank you. So, I said Dion, but Demel will be here to join us shortly. And so I just wanted to come on before he got a chance to come on because I wanted to let you guys know like, so me, I am a survivor. I was molested when I was younger. And so many years, like I used to hurt people. I used to do damage to myself because I didn't care, because nobody cared about me, but I didn't realize they did. My parents loved me. Like my dad and my mom, they had their own demons and they had their own things they needed to deal with. And so they learned, and you right, God with me. Listen, you know what, Dion? For many years, I didn't know God was with me, but I had to go on the journey to find out who God was. And so I remember when I was when I was 25, y'all, that's when I came into realization of self. When I said, God, I need to know who you are. I need to know what is going on with me and why I feel the way I feel, why I'm doing what I'm doing. But I remember when I was 11, before I got 25, I was 11, and I cried out, I said, God, I'm going to break the curse in my family. Not knowing that some family members had been molested. I'm 11 years old. So I found out this when I got older that some of my cousins was molested. My uncle was molested. See, they don't talk about certain things because sometimes it's not. I don't know why some family members sweep a lot of stuff under the rug, not realizing the impact of the decisions or the choices that people before us made. Lisa, thank you. Listen, that's my mission. My mission is try to help so people can see different perspectives. So listen, in my family, I didn't realize that my family had this curse of what? Molestation, incest, and all of these different things, cuz I found out some other stuff about my family that I didn't even have a clue. But I'm not going to go into the family business right now because it's not about all of that. But the choices and the decisions that they made to keep it from the younger people, it messed the young ones up. So I'm going to say, like my age group. A lot of my cousins done been hurt too, but they don't talk about it. They haven't talked about it. We ain't never just sit down and had a powwow and say, I'm sorry for all the things that I did. I'm sorry for the things I said to you, because I kept a lot of stuff. Because, like, a lot of our older people, the elders, have gone on. When I tell y'all this right here is therapeutic, this is something that I needed, because I really thought like the choices that I made was only for me, but no. The choices that I made was not only for me, they was for other people too that are connected to my family. So, like my niece and my nephew, if I don't tell them the truth, they gonna suffer, they gonna hurt, because they didn't know that their family members had been molested. They didn't know that their granddad was a drunk. They didn't know that, the granddaddy used to beat on the grandmother, or whatever the case may be. So I just wanted to talk about this, because I am a life coach and I believe in breaking generational curses, breaking cycles. So we have to speak up. We have to be willing to tell our truth. We can no longer be afraid. We have to let people know when things hurt us. We have to be able to speak up. So I wanted to come on here and tell you, like, the decisions that you make, you have to realize you're not only making them for yourself, but you're making them for your children. You're making them for your loved ones. You're making them for your neighbors. I hate to say it, but it's true, because I realize that we are all connected. You understand? So I'm so glad that y'all are here. Demel will be coming on, joining us by phone. For those that do not know, I am Coach Tina Cole. I am the founder of Driven by Purpose LLC, and I support second chances. I support people that have made a decision, not realizing the impact that it was going to have on their adulthood, or realize the impact that it was going to have on them, period. So I believe that people deserve a second chance. That's just me, because I know I haven't always made the right decisions. I know I haven't always said the right things. And so I believe that people need to heal from their trauma. And sometimes people cannot afford holistic care. I believe in holistic care. I believe in the traditional medicine too, but I also believe that, like, for me, I can talk directly to you guys. For me, I, being a victim of molestation, witnessing firsthand domestic violence, being in a poverty community, stricken community with no food, and then not a lot of resources, I had to leave my hometown so I could see what it is that I needed to see, so I can be a resource for my community, go back home when it's time for me to go back home and do another work. Because the thing is, sometimes you can be in a community and around people that they have your best interest at heart sometimes, and sometimes they look at you as a threat. But as you healing trauma, as you healing your own trauma, sometimes you have to step away from your comfortable zone, so that way you can discover who you are, so that way you can be an asset to your community. So I wanted to make sure you guys knew this is what I do. This is who I am. And I believe that anybody can change. And I believe many of us deserve second chances. So I believe in prison reform. For those that do not know, I am a supporter. And so my mission, my whole life mission, is to create a atmosphere and a safe place for individuals that are returning citizens, individuals that deserve a second chance, that are in need of a second chance, that don't have the right resources to have a holistic life coach, to have energy healing, because I believe in energy healing. I believe in also meditation. I believe in yoga. I believe in different holistic practices, so individuals can get the healing that they need. And so I'm creating that safe space, whether it's here online, whether it's here. The Live from the Inside Out show is me and Demel, but we also have this platform for individuals that are incarcerated, that want to get on here to tell their story. Because what I realize is, when we tell our story, we are set free. And not only are we set free, we set others free. So if you have a story, if you have a loved one, or if you want to tell your loved one's story, we would love to have you. There is a fee associated with the platform, because what we do is I create a flyer. I create a flyer for you. Not only do I create a flyer for you, but I put it on all our social media. And then I also make sure that you have a 30-minute, 15 to 30-minute interview. If you are outside and you speaking on behalf of your loved one, guess what? You can do it for them, and we can do a 30-minute interview. And not only that, we give some of the proceeds. We're going to start giving it to free people, because they have a bigger mission. And so we are a part of free people, because here we heal people in order to what? Set them free. So we are healing people to free people to set them free. So we want to be able to be a blessing. So some of the money that we get from the show, so it is $55 to be on the show. But again, some of the proceeds will go to free people. And who's over free people? Free people. Demel and Dion are over free people. And so what we want to do is make sure that we're able to help fund, because listen, when I tell y'all this is much bigger than me, because at first I was like, how can I give back? How can I help those that are in need? Because I realized when I was going through my situation, when I was going through my storm, like I was crying out for help. I was a kid when it all started for me, and I did not know how to help. I didn't know how to talk. I didn't know how to express myself. So I went on this journey where I just started speaking live one day on Facebook. And it was like, see, the thing is, my past, it stopped me. It stopped me for a long time. I didn't know how to talk. I didn't want to be judged. I didn't want to be looked at funny. So I stopped telling people. I stopped telling them things that I knew was right. So I went on this journey where I just started doing things like learning how to do this, go live, make the video. So some of the artwork that you see, so like I don't know if you can see the work behind me where you see my picture, you see the male picture, and you see the different logos. I learned how to do that myself. I'm self-taught with a lot of this stuff. So a lot of the stuff I've been doing on my own, but I don't want to have to do it on my own. I want to be able to, individuals that are returning to society, I want to be able to create this or allow them to have a job with me. So many people don't know, like a lot of stuff that you see, I've been doing it by myself, but now I want to be able to be in that position to employ people that are just coming home, that are in need of a job. So Demel is here. I'm about to get ready to bring him on. Just give me one moment. Thank you, Laura. Laura, this is all God's doing. This is not my doing. So I want you guys to know. Subject to monitoring and recording. Thank you. So here, guys, Demel is about to join us now.
Hello?
Hi, Demel. How are you?
I'm well. I'm trying to get, in the rhythm of things. It's kind of like off and on here.
Oh, well, I'm glad that you was able to join us. So we have everybody here. They were just waiting on you to get here. So today we are talking about the effects of our choices. And so,
okay. Oh, wow.
Yes.
Man, that's a hell of a, okay. Yeah.
Okay. So
now the reason why I say wow, because you'd rather you know it or not, man. A lot of guys, we might not verbalize it, but we think about that every day because our environment, you know what I'm saying, it bears witness to some of the choices that we made.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I want you to know who's all here so far. So we have Lisa is here. Deidre is here. That is Deidre Greathouse. And then we have Laura who is here. Uncle Dion is here as well. And that's all I can see for now. So they just all in the room and they just say hello.
Okay. Yeah. Peace to everybody.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So can you tell me some of the choices that you made and how it has impacted your life and your family's life?
Okay. I'm going to try to be brief if that's possible for me. But 21 years ago, my choices were, I want to say limited, but they were definitely, I guess the way your mentality is. So the choices that that we were making back then were definitely guided by what we thought was okay. So back then, I was into some of the things that led to my incarceration. I thought that it was okay to, take things from people. I thought that it was okay to, as a street terminology, get it how you live. And owning that now, I would have never said that in an environment where people that don't subscribe to that I would never have said that in front of them. I mean, at the dice games or at the, when we drinking or, hanging out, we said it amongst ourselves. But one of the things in the criminal lifestyle is to hide and deny and lie. You know what I mean? I no longer live that lifestyle. So it's not hard for me to admit that that's what I was into back then. So given the fact that I was into that back then, it led me to make some of the choices that harmed others. And when you were into that lifestyle, you didn't care about what you done to people. And to do that from a human perspective, I see that's why I self-medicated. That's why I stayed high. That's why I stayed strong. You know what I mean? And in so doing, you move in this haze, and it's a cycle that you can hardly get out of. It's constant. It's every day. And I think you alluded to this a little bit about being in prison of the mind. So you can be in a prison of not only criminal activity, but just moral decay. And it's every day. It's constant. So that led me to, do some criminal acts. And in so doing, harmed people. Maybe not by my own hand, but even with the community. I remember during our sentencing, the prosecutor used the fact, I don't know where he came up with this statistic, but he was like, all while we were in the county jail, which was 13 months, crime had dropped like 12 or 15%. I guess he was using this as a talking point to say how that we were a threat and a danger to the community, which was the furthest thing from the truth. But where I lived at in that neighborhood and where my mother still stays to this day, it's just riddled with, some generational curses of crime, violence, drug use, and whatnot. So, I don't think he could attribute that to me and my co-defendants, but it was a talking point that he used at that time. And now, so I'm ashamed of that. I don't want to live or be a part of a community that just keeps the cycle of violence, crime, and drug use. You know what I'm saying? Back then, I think that it was something that I was proud of because I was just sick in the head, for lack of a better phrase. And so some of those choices is hell of it.
But I want to say something to what you just said, because it was like, I feel like many of us are a product of our environment, because we try to emulate and be like our friends or be like what we
Right.
see, because you can even see it today, how many
Right.
people watch rap videos, or they might
Mhm.
watch basketball
Mhm.
players, and they be like, oh, I want to be like this when I grow up, or I want to do this
Right.
because that's what they see. So
Right.
like, I believe our environment, and if we were not taught differently, it would have, we was gonna fall by the wayside. So many of us fall by the
Right.
wayside because we were not taught
Right.
differently, or we didn't know
Well, see,
differently. Go ahead.
and I agree. It's ironic that you said it because we were just watching the program called My True Crime Story, something on one of those shows. It's on in the day room here, and they said the same thing. They were saying, talking about this sister who was a product of her environment, and I want to challenge that because it's a product in environment, because not everybody in that environment does that. Not everybody in that, I made decent grades.
Mm-hmm.
At the same time, I made choices to do other things, and I had friends. Right now, never been to prison. Well, I'm talking about we came up literally together.
Mm-hmm.
Not everybody in the environment or in the hood is gun-toting, criminal, psychopath, and whatnot. And just because you are gun-toting and indulge in criminal activity doesn't mean that you don't have empathy and compassion. It's just, we get into this cycle where it becomes okay.
Mm-hmm.
Once it becomes not okay, and we stop rewarding bad behavior from you can't legislate this. This can't come from your state capitol. This can't come from any laws. It has to come from the block, man. It had to come from the people who are on the block. And it was a time where people was on the block that would try to deter you from doing crime.
Mm-hmm.
When you begin to remove those people from the neighborhoods by either death or long prison sentences, people begin to raise themselves and make up stuff on their own. And then, like I said, we reward bad behavior. But not everybody from the neighborhood, not every product in our environment is a product of criminality. That's just simply not true. The overwhelming majority of people that live in those neighborhoods are not like that.
And you know what?
And we need to highlight them.
But you know what? And they not all
Mhm.
like that. So like I
Yeah.
said, so like when I was saying we are a product of our environment.
Yep.
So you seen firsthand, even though you had good grades and you were living on the right path, but something triggered you to not want to live that
Yeah.
path because you was like, I
Yeah.
want to be like my friends. So that was the
Yeah.
choice. So it's always
Yep.
our choice. And so that's the
Yep.
difference. So like even the people that didn't get in trouble, haven't been to prison, like I bet you they had somebody that was in their ear or in their
Oh, ain't
life
no
that
doubt.
told them to
Yep.
stop, don't live or go this path
Mhm.
because of
Mhm.
they were not
That's so true.
easily influenced.
Yeah.
So that's the difference.
That's so
But
true.
I gotta tell you something. So your Uncle Dion said, Montreal said, "What's up?" He on the phone with your uncle right now, and then Uncle Dion was like, "You always have a choice." Lisa said, "You have a desire to change now and help people now, and that's wonderful."
Right. Well, see, the choices that I made when I came to prison, because I could have continued,
Mm-hmm.
and not for nothing. And I'm not trying to, be some type of way, but you know, um, how can I put it? 'Cause I don't like to talk about prison politics, but put it like this: I'm not a your average person even in here.
Mm-hmm.
You just can't just do anything to me. You just can't say anything about me. And that is a choice because I've aligned myself and I have been consistent in the work that I've been in here. But I could have continued on some BS. I know guys that have continued on BS. You see what I'm saying? So, yes, we always have choices. But what I'm saying is when it becomes okay, when we justify some of these things, and I come to realize that not every product in our environment, is the product of criminality, man. That's just, it gets put like this. There was a statistic that talked about for 1/3 of African American males will find themselves in prison. Well, there's 2/3 that don't come. Now, don't get me wrong. 1/3 is a terrible statistic, and stats can always be used in whatever way that you want to. Well, let's put the emphasis on the 2/3 that don't come, and then try to emulate that. You know what I mean? And then marry, if you will, for lack of a better phrase, the ideas of the 2/3 with the 1/3. See, because we always highlight and say that yes, we got choices. We do. But sometimes, man, those choices are wrapped up in your reality, what you think is okay in your mind's eye. And sometimes we have a bad habit in our communities of rewarding bad behavior.
Mm-hmm. You're right. You're right. Oh
Yeah.
wow, listen. I'm so glad we having this conversation because of the simple fact it's so much going on right now. And I don't know if people are having these conversations, but we do have some advocates on this line with us right now. So I want to say thank
Okay.
you guys for standing in the gaps with us and then educating our people about the
Right.
importance of making the right choices, and not only making the right choices, but feeling like and believing that people deserve another chance. So we have
Yeah.
supporters and we believe. So the man, I want to say thank you for being
No.
transparent, thank you for being honest, thank you for being open to tell us your
Yeah.
story and all of that good
Yeah.
stuff that you always bring
Yeah.
to the table.
Well, no, I want to thank you and everybody involved to be seen and heard because you can get lost in here. I say this all the time, and I've seen men do it. Like I said, man, I've been in here since I was 22 years old. I'll be 44. So I literally grew up in prison, and I know men that have been here since they was like 17, 18, and they're in their 50s. They grew up in here, and what we have now is a technology that allows for us to do what we're doing. But moreover, man, there's a consciousness now. Since it's a case that came out, People versus Parks, in the Michigan Supreme Court, man, they gave a lot of guys hope. Man, I was just talking to one of my guys, man, that been gone since 1988, man. And my man was like, yo, bro, we were just talking yesterday. He's like, man, my dreams are different. I said, what you mean? He's like, yo, man, I'm like dreaming that I'm out now. And you'd be surprised at what incarceration do to people, man. I mean, I can't even explain it in the short amount of time. But you have men that have deep regret, and not just because they lost their lives or just because they took a life, but this whole sick system of prison and all that it entails. You got people, man, that don't interact with the outside world. Man, they only interact in the day room. They only interact in their religious services, or they only interact in the weight pit. And when you talk to only men and you talk in the way of prison jargon, man, it shapes your mind. And once again, things can become okay to you. And I've seen people collapse under the weight of long ass sentences and long ass prison bits and going through different eras of time in prison. Prison is not like what somebody would have, if you'd have been here 10 years ago and you've been out for 10 years, you wouldn't recognize what this is. So could you imagine somebody seeing the changes, not only the food, but the mentality, and then seeing the younger people coming in, then seeing some of the older guys who made the rules up, give up on the rules, and then start doing weird shit themselves. So it's just like this, it's almost like a madhouse, man. You have to fight every day to keep your sanity.
But you know what? They have a brother like you and brothers like you, so to
Right.
help them, and that's why free people, and so you have mastered that, because you realize that you are free in your mind, and that's the importance of all of this whole conversation, is to be free first in your mind, and then to not give in to the temptations of what you see your reality is, because like right now you are in a place that you don't want to be, and so you like, oh, that could either make me, break me, I could fall victim, and I could be like everybody else. But you, like you said, you a rare breed, you are different, you are yourself, and I value that statement, and I know I'm adding my own little terminology to it, but I want to say,
but no, that's cool. That's dope. I like that. Let me be clear. You know what I'm saying? I had a lot of dark moments. I had some dark years. You know, we do a lot of these self-help classes, and we read a lot of material, and we may read like what's considered a victim impact statement. And some of the people like, yo, I was able to forgive the person that stabbed my grandmother to death and this, that, and other thing. And then we'll talk about that in the class. And I'm like, listen, man, let's not gloss over the fact that, yeah, we've read this story in 5-10 minutes, man, but that may have been years of therapy. So while I'm you know, before you now, standing in my truth and in my personal constitution and in my growth, you know what I'm saying? It was some years ago where I probably couldn't have communicated it like this. You know what I'm saying? I had a lot of anger. I had a lot of hurt. You see what I'm saying? I had a lot of paranoia. You know, so I was very, very paranoid about people coming into my life and prying and meddling for the sole purposes of getting what they wanted, then leave. You see what I'm saying? Because it was a time in here where everybody was trying to use everybody. You know what I'm saying? I'm outgrown that. You know what I'm saying? Thank God. At the same time, you know, I'm still growing, but I'm in a space now, thank God, once again, that I'm able to, have these conversations. But, you know, there's still some people that don't like me. You know, so there's still some people that, you know, might not support what we got going on. I mean, thank God that we're in a zone and in a space where, you know, our show and some of the things that
You have 1 minute remaining.
That I've recorded, people are receptive to it, but make no mistake, man, there's some people that don't like it. There's some people that, you know what I'm saying, that the family members are not, you know what I'm saying, as receptive to what I'm talking about. So it's not all roses, you know what I'm saying, and I get that, and I respect that too. But what I'm trying to do, I'm gonna call back in 15 minutes, man, because I really want to continue this conversation. Some other stuff I have on my heart, man, and I appreciate what you're doing and everybody else and all the support, man. It's real love there, and I thank y'all.
Laura said, keep growing, or keep going, brother. Your uncle said you gotta continue to keep a peace of mind, and I just wanted to say thank you again for joining us. And so what we'll do is we'll continue, but guys, for those that are watching, I will have this, what me and him talk about, we'll bring it back next week. And so y'all just make sure y'all come back next week so y'all can get what he has to say. So I love you guys, and we'll talk to y'all soon. Peace out.